All right. I am Agni James, and I'm having a Monday night guided meditation again. I'm so grateful that you could make it. And yeah, today I also am going to talk a little bit about philosophy. So there was a joke that I heard once. It was something along the lines of, "What is the number one question that philosophers ask when they get out of grad school?" And the answer to that question is, would you like fries with this? Would you like fries with that, right? So the idea being, yeah, philosophy's cool. You have some interesting things to learn, but there's really no jobs out there for philosophy. And that is kind of true to some extent. If you can become a philosophy professor, a lot of people that go to grad school for philosophy become attorneys as well. They end up going to law school. Some philosophers, especially in my field, analytic philosophy, become technical writers because they have a good grasp of language. But then there's also other areas where philosophers excel. Like most hospitals nowadays will hire an ethicist, and that will be an ethicist will be on staff at the hospital and help out with, with stuff like, should we take this person off life support? The family wants to, but one family member doesn't, and it's just good. It's good for liability purposes to have an ethicist on hand at your hospital, right? So there's a lot of misconceptions about philosophy, and I'm going to try to dispel some of those tonight. For instance, most people just don't feel that philosophy is very important, that it has much impact on the world, and they kind of view it as like a hobby, or like, some kind of you know fun exploration, of thought, or sometimes you'll hear it referred to as mental masturbation, right? But it's not. It's not like that. There's a lot more to philosophy than that. And so I'm going to, throughout the course of this stream, I'm going to try to explain a few things that philosophers do and why philosophy is of the utmost importance. I know when Trump was in office, he said we need less philosophers and more welders, but I completely disagree. And not just because I'm biased, because that's what I went to grad school for, philosophy, but because we want people that can think. We want people that can think outside the box. That's what's important right now. In this world, in this current state, in this current paradigm that we're living in, everyone is just locked in to certain ways of thought, to certain ways of thinking. And it makes it such that people are just looking for the enemy, right? People are looking for those that they can identify with, and they're looking for those that they don't identify with, those that have values that deviate substantially from what they have. And, then they can, categorize them as the enemy and, discount everything they say. And then the people that they, associate with, then they just agree with everything they say. So that's kind of what's been going on in the world. Regardless, let me say a few things about philosophy. For those of you who think that philosophy has no value in this world, and it doesn't contribute to anything in society, let me pose a question. Do you think computers are important? Now you might be thinking, well, what does philosophy have to do with computers? Well, philosophy has everything to do with computers. Without philosophy, there would be no computers. So that's kind of something interesting to keep in mind. And now you might think, well, wait a minute, how could that be? Philosophy talks about these weird abstract notions and concepts. But remember, and many of you probably don't know this, logic is a branch of philosophy. So when Russell and Whitehead formalized logic, they paved the way for computer programming, for computers. Without formalized logic, we would not be able to have computers. Without computers, I wouldn't be here streaming this entertaining Twitch meditation right now. Well, on meditation I'll be doing a little bit, and I wouldn't be streaming this video right now. So that's something important to keep in mind. Um, in addition to that, philosophical advocates have been very important in advocating for animal rights. There, I don't know how many of you are aware of this, but there are these horrible things out there called factory farms, and they basically just have all these animals, all this livestock in like turnstiles, and they just kind of weave around, and then end up getting their heads chopped off at the end of the path. And the quality of their lives is terrible. They don't get to live like animals out in nature. They're just in these factory farms, and it's just very inhumane and cruel. And there's a lot of philosophers. Peter Singer is a notable example that have fought really hard to bring down these factory farms. They've tried to make it such that animals have certain rights, and you can't just abuse these animals and just to try to make profit in whatever way, shape, or form. And so they fought to bring down these factory farms. Philosophers also have been accused of just sitting in their ivory tower and not doing much. The notion is that, oh yeah, they just talk about these very abstract, highfalutin concepts or whatnot, but they don't actually put anything into practice. Well, that's actually not true. I went to grad school for philosophy at Northern, and one of my professors, Mylan Engel, he actually devoted his life to animal rights stuff. And every time he teaches a class, he actually shows videos about factory farming and puts forth some very strong arguments against factory farming. And you might think, well, okay, that's great. A lot of teachers, champion causes when they teach in class, but how often do people actually follow their advice? Well, during the course of the time that I was there, 1/3 of the student population became vegetarian directly as a result of Mylan's teaching. And that's the thing about philosophers. If there's an argument that is cogent, if they can put forth a cogent argument that is really appealing, and really resonates with the individual's reason, philosophers are willing to they're willing to change their behaviors, and they're open-minded enough to be able and willing to do such a thing. So that's pretty cool. I thought that was super impressive. That 1/3 of I think it wasn't even just the student body. I think it was the staff. 1/3 of the student body and staff became either vegetarian or vegan on top of that as well. So that's really cool. Philosophers are having causal impacts on the world. Another example of philosophers doing a lot of great work on this planet is human rights. Now you might think, well, human rights, what do philosophers have to do with human rights, right? But it turns out back in the day, it was a bunch of philosophers that got together that said, hey, you know what? We don't like this torture nonsense that people are doing all over the world. This is inhumane. Human beings have intrinsic value and the right to dignity and the right to not be tortured to death. So let's go against this. Let's get people to other countries to agree to no longer torture other human beings. And they succeeded. They won. So the common misconception that philosophers don't have a causal impact on this world, or if they do, it's just by some very oblique route, is false. That's not the way it is. Philosophers do a lot of good in this world. In fact, and they're some of the most incredible people that I've ever met in my life. And I was so grateful to actually be part of the program, for analytic philosophy at Northern, and because I learned so much. I mean, people were asking, well, what are you going to? Everyone always wanted to ask me, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? If you go and get a master's or PhD in philosophy, what are you going to do with that? As if like it wasn't a good decision. And I told them, I would look them straight in the face and I'd say, hey, I want to learn about philosophy. It's not about trying to go and get, some job making, $1 million a year. It's about trying to improve my understanding. My whole goal in life is to try to get closer to truth, is to try to increase my understanding about just about everything that I feel is important. And much of that has to do with metaphysics. Much of that has to do with understanding the foundational nature of reality, like what it means to exist, what it means to exist in this realm, what it means to exist in noumenal realm, as opposed to the phenomenal realm that we discussed last week. So yeah, there's a lot of good that philosophers do, and I just wanted to make that clear because philosophers have gotten a bad rap over time. It didn't used to be like that, but that's just kind of like a newer thing. Maybe over the last couple hundred years, it's just really really gotten bad. So, all right. Well, without further ado, we're going to do some meditation because and I said it in the title. I said this is going to be philosophy and meditation. And I like running these guided meditation groups. Not only do I get some meditation in for the day, but I can also help the people around me and the people in the world that I care about meditate as well. I've taught hundreds of people how to meditate over the years, and I'm in for the long haul. I'm going to be doing these meditation groups for the rest of my life. Hopefully I don't die tomorrow, because then it won't be a long career doing meditation groups. But like I am going to be doing these for quite some time, and I'm grateful that you're here with me. And yeah, so let's start. Okay, you want to get in a nice, comfortable seated position. You want your feet firmly planted on the floor. That's something I haven't gone over before. It's important to have your feet grounded on the floor, and not just your feet touching the floor. A lot of people, don't understand the difference between having your feet grounded on the floor and just touching. When I say grounded, I mean all four corners of your feet, from your pinky toe to your big toe to both sides of your heels, just firmly rooted to the ground. If you're rooted to the ground, you're going to have a stronger connection, and you're going to be able to feel the energy and the breath moving through you at a better rate, and you'll have a more efficient chi energy channel flowing through your body. Okay, so get in a nice, comfortable position, and close your eyes and take a slow, deep inhale through your nose, gently raising your belly. And a slow, deep exhale through your mouth, gently lowering your belly. And a slow, deep inhale through your nose, gently raising your abdomen. And a slow, deep exhale through your mouth, gently lowering your abdomen. In meditations, in my style of meditation, it's important to breathe with your belly. Belly breathing is so important, and when you breathe with your belly, you get in the most oxygen. You start by filling up your belly, and then you fill up your chest, then your neck, then you're even up in your throat. So you can maximize the amount of oxygen you take in your body, and as you exhale through the mouth, you release all of that oxygen. So if you've ever watched a baby breathe, a newborn baby, you'll notice their bellies move up and down slowly. They breathe through their belly because that's the natural way to breathe. As human beings, we're so distracted and hunched over, looking at computers all day. We've lost sight of even the most basic things like breathing and stretching. We don't breathe correctly anymore. We breathe from our chest, which is not an effective way of breathing. So take a slow, deep inhale, raising your belly, breathing in all that air and oxygen, and a slow, deep exhale through your mouth, letting go of all that does not serve you. And a slow, deep inhale through your nose, gently raising your belly. And a slow, deep exhale through your mouth, gently lowering your belly. Find a nice, comfortable breath count that works for you. Maybe 4 seconds inhale, 4 seconds exhale, maybe 6 seconds inhale, 6 seconds exhale. Whatever is comfortable for you. And stay true to that breath count throughout the remainder of the meditation. When distracting thoughts enter your mind, do not judge them, but gently release them and return to your breath. The goal is to still your mind and focus on your breath. Also, do not let negative thoughts cloud your thinking. Do not get frustrated if you can't still your mind. That's perfectly fine. That's actually normal for beginner meditators. But just gently release the thoughts you have. And if you can even do it for a split second, you are making progress. So gently breathe in through your nose, visualizing chi energy flooding into your body, healing and nourishing every cell in your being. And gently exhale through your mouth, releasing all that does not serve you. And inhale through your nose, breathing in all that beautiful love and energy into your vessel. And exhale through your mouth, letting go of any sickness, of any distracting thoughts, of any thoughts about the past or thoughts about the future. Gently releasing them. so that with each breath cycle, you are nourished, complete, and whole once again. Now, when you inhale through your nose, visualize healing water pouring down over your head. The warm water heals as it hits your scalp and flows down your face and neck, nourishing every cell in your body as it flows down across your shoulders, down your upper arms, down your elbows, across your lower arms, and off your fingertips. The water flows down your chest and back, across your thighs, down your shins and calves, across your feet, and off your toes. As the water flows, you become one with the water. For your vessel, this body of yours, is primarily made up of water to begin with. So feel that water flow down your head and body and off your toes. And allow yourself just to be one with the waterfall. Focus on your breath. Slow, deep inhales through the nose, raising your belly. And slow, deep exhales through your mouth, lowering your belly. When distracting thoughts enter your mind, gently release them and return to the breath. when more distracting thoughts enter your mind, thoughts about the past, thoughts about the future, planning thoughts, thoughts about what you should have done or what you shouldn't have done, thoughts about what you're going to do or what you're not going to do. Recognize those thoughts as nothing more than ego traps and release them. The past is gone and the future is not here. All that exists is this present moment. This union between body, mind, and soul. This is where we reside. This is our home. And the goal of existence is to remember that and to return to the state of pure oneness. So breathe in through your nose, taking in the biggest breath of the day, raising your belly. And exhale all of this illusory dualistic framework through your mouth. You don't need it anymore. It serves no purpose, no function. And breathe in through your nose, bringing in pure love, peace, and light into your vessel. And exhale through your mouth, releasing all that does not serve you. Gently open your eyes. And return to the present moment, bringing with you the peace from this meditation throughout the remainder of the day. Namaste. So yeah, the goal of meditation is not to sit in a dark room by yourself and feel oneness. The goal is to be able to experience that in the dark room by yourself and then carry that with you into the world, such that when you're in a stressful situation, you're able to focus on your breath and maintain your peace. Because right now, what this world needs is peace. Everyone wants to fight. Everyone wants to fight everyone else. People are looking for allies. People are looking to see whose side each other person is on. But that's not reality. That's not real. We're all part of one consciousness. All your supposed enemies or people that you don't like for one reason or another, they're part of you. And if you go attacking them, even if it's just in retaliation for something they may have done to you, you're just attacking yourself because they are a part of you. It makes no sense. Given that assumption, given that premise, it makes no sense to ever go after another human being, no matter what they've done. Now, I'm not saying, that people shouldn't be held culpable for their actions. But what I am saying is that we can feel love and kindness towards people regardless of what we do, of what they do. Now, is this easy? Is this going to be an easy thing to accomplish? Fuck no. It's actually just about the hardest thing in the world for a human being to do. You know, we're evolutionarily programmed to respond. You know, and a lot of times respond aggressively when we feel threatened or when we've been attacked. But we've reached the point where we can bypass that programming. We can use meta level awareness and self reflection to look deep inside ourselves and think, do we want to hold on to anger and hatred towards another human being? Or do we want to be free of that? Because the minute we hang on to any kind of anger or hatred towards another, we're chaining ourselves to them. We're putting us both in chains. The only way to truly be free is to release that individual. Yeah, it's tough. It's going to be really tough, but you know what? It's the only way. Anyways, thank you so much for participating in this guided meditation with me on this glorious Monday, the 29th. I'll be doing more guided meditations throughout the course of the week. Wednesday at 8 p.m., I'll be doing philosophy and meditation. And then Daniel Johnson, PhD, will be doing some personal development and psychology on Thursday, sometime between 7:30 and 8:30. So tune in then. If you like what you've seen, hit the follow button and support our channel. We're here to help people. That's what we're trying to do, and we appreciate any support we can get in the process. So thank you. Namaste. Let's see if someone's available to raid. Let's see. Who are we going to raid today? Let's see. Oh, cool. I think it's